Alrighty guys, we're back for some Land Tribal, and this is a March of the Machine, the Aftermath Standard Brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with a red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got in the build here? A couple new ones. Rebuild the City is a 6 mana sorcery, rocking Jund colors up there. Choose target land. Create 3 tokens that are copies of it, except they are 3/3 creatures in addition to their other types, and they have Vigilance and Menace, and then it reminds us they are affected by Summoning Sickness. Pretty cool, guys. I'm interested to see how much this is actually going to do in here. So, what are some other new ones? Well, we have Jolrael, Voice of Zhalfir. It is a 4 mana 3/3 legendary creature at the beginning of combat. On your turn, up to 1 target land you control becomes an XX green and blue bird creature with flying and haste until end of turn. Where X is the number of cards in your hand, it's still a land. Whenever a land creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I think this card's actually going to be pretty sweet, man. And if you can ramp into it early on and power up a land right away, I don't know, that seems pretty good because you might be swinging in for like 5 damage or something ridiculous in the air and drawing a card. So yeah, do you have some early ramp for cards like Voice of Zhalfir, like Llanowar Loamspeaker, of course, just very powerful, and the bottom ability can power up a land, which is going to be very important in this deck. Speaking of like powering up lands and stuff, we got Awaken the Woods too. It's X and double green. You get to create X 1/1 green forest dryad land creature tokens, and of course they are affected by Summoning Sickness. So, like, yeah, just a ton of ways to power up lands and get lands onto the board and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot another new one. Nissa, Resurgent Animist. This is a 3 mana 3/3 legendary creature. It is an elf scout. It has landfall, so whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you add 1 mana of any color. Then, if this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an elf or an elemental card. Put that card into your hand and the rest of your bottom on the bottom of your library in a random order. So Nissa is an elf, Loamspeaker is an elf, and we do have an elemental packed in here for that ability too. Titan of Industry as a 1/of on the top end. Should this be more? Maybe, maybe. It's a very powerful creature that for some reason hasn't seen as much play recently, which is just super weird to me. I guess it's just like the weird state of green right now in Magic, but yeah, Titan of Industry is going to be great in here. What else do we got packed in? Well, Tatyova, Steward of Tides, is a 3 mana 3/3 legendary creature. Land creatures you control have flying. Holy cow, that's going to be a huge ability in this deck. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. That's pretty good, guys, because we're probably going to have 7 or more often on the board between cards like Awaken the Woods and Rebuild the City and just everything else packed in here. Topiary Stomper helps us get extra lands onto the board. We have Invasion of Zendikar in here too, which is just a very powerful battle, honestly. So it's a 4 mana battle, siege, 3 defense counters. When it enters, you search your library for 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. In this deck, you're just grabbing forests, but that's fine. It's going to be pretty easy to flip into the Awaken Skyclave, which has Vigilance, Haste. It's a 4/4. You could tap it for 1 mana of any color. And as long as it's on the battlefield, it's a land in addition to its other types. So yeah, just lands everywhere, guys. Oh, and more ways to power up lands. Wrenn and Realmbreaker. This is a 3 mana legendary planeswalker with 4 loyalty. Lands you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color. In this deck, that's going to be very important. All these different cards like Loamspeaker or the Awakened Skyclave, Nissa, of course, Wrenn and Realmbreaker, all of that's going to come really in handy when it comes time to actually cast Rebuild the City, because the mana base is kind of super greedy, just heavily leaning towards forests, right? So Wrenn and Realmbreaker's other abilities, you got the +1 here. Up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with Vigilance, Hexproof, and Haste until your next turn. It's still a land. It's got a -2, which isn't half bad. You mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from among the milled cards into your hand. And then the -7 is you get an emblem with you may play lands and cast permanent spells from your graveyard, which I don't know how often comes up. It's mainly in here for that top ability to have our lands tap for any color, and then the other top ability, the +1, to just power up some lands and start swinging in at the opponent's face, hopefully with some flying lands from Tatyova, or drawing extra as we're swinging in the air, right? So more stuff on the top end here. Nissa Ascended Animist is a 7 mana, 7 loyalty, completed planeswalker. It has 2 green Phyrexian mana in the casting cost. It's got a +1 here where you create an XX green Phyrexian horror creature token where X is Nissa Ascendant Animist's loyalty. That's pretty good. It's got a -1 destroy target artifact or enchantment. That's pretty good. The -7 though is what's really just going to help us wrap up games until the end of turn. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for each forest you control and gain trample. So that's like our main win condition, I guess, right? If we're not just already slamming enough damage through to the opponent's face with all the lands, then we're just going to go ahead and boost them above and beyond. Just swing in with a bunch of 14/14 lands or something ridiculous, you know what I mean? So when you go rebuild the city, then of course you want to copy something that's actually a forest, so you have more forests on the board. And of course Awaken the Woods creates those forests anyways, and so yeah. Nice. Is that everything? No, it's not actually. I'm sorry guys, I'm all over the place going over this one. We got 3 Bushwhacks in here too, just a way to grab more land from the deck, but also fighting is pretty important often, and we have some pretty chunky creatures in here, so yeah, I think Bushwhack is going to be a terrific one. Speaking of land, guys, we do have 26 total land. I don't think we're going to have any issues, especially when we can grab extra from the deck with Bushwhack. We're ramping with the Stompy, the Stompy dinosaur, right? We're ramping with Loamspeaker. Oh, Deeproot Wayfinder is a 2-of in here. It's a 2 mana, 2/3. And when Wayfinder deals combat damage to a player, surveil 1. And when you surveil, you just look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard, and then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, which Wayfinder kind of pairs really well with Wrenn and Realmbreaker, doesn't it? So, all right, guys. That's the list. Land, tribal, super ramp. I really don't know what else to call it. We do have an honorable mention over here. I thought about Crystal Grotto here for the Scry ability, actually. It would be interesting to see if using Rebuild the City on Crystal Grotto would ever come in handy, but I don't think it would. And also the bottom ability where you can tap 1, tap it, add 1 mana of any color. Maybe that could have come in handy a few times, but overall, I think it's just better to have our triomes here. Spara's headquarters is going to be very important for the blue mana in the Steward, the blue mana in the Voice of Zhalfir. The Proving Ground obviously going to be important for the Rebuild the City. Both of these count as forests too, which is very nice, which is also why I went with a single Tangled Islet here too. For the blue source, also it counts as a forest. So the only land that's not a forest is the Who Endures. So nice. Everything should work well with the Nissa then. Is that everything? Oh my goodness, guys, I apologize. I guess it's a list that I don't usually play decks like this, and so I didn't really know where to start going over it. Hopefully I went over it well enough. You'll have to let me know in the comments. Either way, let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. All right, guys. What am I expecting from the list? I gotta be real with you. I know I shouldn't expect much, but I actually expect a little bit from this one. I think it's gonna be powerful. I do, but we'll see, huh? Okay, 26 total mana. We're gonna draw that third, man. We're gonna see that third. We have Loamspeaker. The double Nissa Ascendant Animist might not be the best. We go first here too. All right, we keep this. I think getting to that fourth to ramp on the invasion is going to be easy. In fact, if we see the third in the next 2 turns, that's all we need. We need to see the third in 2 turns. Well, third untapped, I suppose, but this works too. Hopefully Loamspeaker doesn't get gobbled up by Lightning Strike right away, but usually mono red likes to just pile damage through instead. Yeah, Feldon. It's going to be a 3/3. Okay, we're going to take that damage. We need that Loamspeaker. Ooh, Wrenn and Realmbreaker. That could take some pressure off of our face, actually. I would have loved Invasion of Zendikar this turn, but Wrenn and Realmbreaker. I like that. Maybe we... It's going to be the tapped Proving Ground, actually, either way. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to -2 and see if this can take some pressure off of our face, too. So they probably swing with Kumano at that instead. Oh, nice. Steward. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. But how are we going to survive against mono red right now? We need more lands in hand. Uh-oh, guys. First match, thinking going up to 27? Nah, I don't think so. Not with the 3 Bushwhack in here, too. That can find us just more of the forest that we need. Blazing Crescendo. Dude, I've been seeing Blazing Crescendo being played in a lot more builds, and it's terrifying, dude. It is more often than not just an extra 3 damage to the face, and then sometimes they hit burn with it, too, so... Yeah, we're down to 10. We see a tapped land. We could get a couple on Awaken the Woods. We can go Invasion of Zendikar. If it was an untapped land, we'd go Invasion of No. We're a little behind here. We are. We really are. Awaken the Woods for 2 to get chump blockers? I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. Yeah, we are really behind. They have 5 on the board, and we might just die if we go Invasion of Zendikar. You know what? If they have it, they have it. At least the first game was a fast one then, right? That's my thought process there. They could easily get 10 damage through this turn, guys. Easily. Well, Blazing Crescendo. Lightning Strike. Good game, opponent. Good game. I mean, that's fine. Like I said, at least it was a fast one. So the safest option would have obviously been the Awaken the Woods option. But if they didn't have the 10 damage, I think it was leaning towards them anyway. So I do like taking risks in matches like this where it's heavily leaning towards them. If we would have went Awaken the Woods, we would have gotten 2 1/1s that, yeah, they could have blocked. We could have survived the extra turn. They had Lightning Strike anyways. They had a ton of mana. But if they didn't have the 10 mana, then we were about to untap with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total. What would we have done? Maybe seen a Titan of Industry off the top. That could have helped us gain some life. That would have been interesting. But honestly, it probably just would have been Awaken the Woods for 5. Chump blockers for days. And then hoped that we could wrap up the game with Nissa next turn, right? Yeah, I think the risk was totally worth it there, man. And I guess we kinda sorta got unlucky seeing all the tap land right away, but not really. We have 8 tap land in here. There's a lot of triomes packed in, so I don't know. I feel the power oozing out of this deck. I really do believe we can get there. Okay, we got Rebuild the City, Awaken. Yeah. Good hand. Let's do this. I love the early Loamspeakers. The game's just giving us early Loamspeakers, which is awesome. And we're going first here again? What on earth? Wait, yeah, we went first last game, right? Man, mono red is scary sometimes. Probably Spara's headquarters and tap Loamspeaker to get the Steward down. Fiend's Tower, Ambitious Farmhand. Okay. Some form of Esper. Bushwhack! Yay! I don't know why I'm cheering. I don't know. It's just nice to see sometimes. Just a fun little card. It's fun to say too. It's gonna be Steward. It's gonna be Spara's headquarters tapped. Honestly, yeah, much better overall. We're seeing our land, so that's super important. Bankbuster, sure. This is probably a cut down, right? I would assume so. Tatyova. I like the Stomper. I like the Awaken the Woods. I think it's just going to be Awaken the Woods, honestly. For 3. Power up a land and hope they don't board wipe. Man, that would be awful. if they have a turn 4 board wipe. Maybe I should play around that. Nah. I'm here to have fun, guys. Let's do this. Power up a forest. Power up 2 forests. Let the... Okay, maybe I will only power up the 1 forest for now, in case there's a board wipe. I guess we'll play around it a little bit, guys. That way we can still play Stomper if they do wipe the board. Yeah, untapped land. Depopulate? Oh, wedding announcement. Oh, we could have gotten away with it. No. We definitely wanted to play around it, though. You know what I mean? So we can tap some stuff down, power up some lands here. They have flying, too. Rebuild the city. Copy forest. They still have summoning sickness. They're not going to gain haste from anything here. But we could power up everything else. But yeah, the board wipe's very scary. Bushwhack on the ground. So it's gonna look like this, right? And we'll use this for green. Stompy. Grab forest. Right? Power up. I guess we power. This is just scary business, man. Everything about this is scary. Okay. Done with everything. They chump the Steward of the Tides. It's a lot of damage, dude. It's like, seriously. We're just waiting for the opponent to wipe the board because they kind of need to. Down to 7. They have 5 mana open now, so the Sunfall. Board wipes. Taking our fun away. The good news is, we're kind of still in this. Like, I don't think we're out of this by any means. I'm just gonna grab a land on the Bushwhack while we have the open mana. I think that's fine. And technically, we'll have the Rebuild the City open then, if Loamspeaker survives. And Rebuild the City could potentially get us there unless they find their second board wipe. So guys, we are seeing a lot of Sunfall. We're seeing people playing this over Depopulate very often. They might actually have Depopulate in here too, so they might. It's a very powerful board wipe, man. Getting that incubator token too. Brutal stuff. Ooh. Rebuild the City number 2 is pretty good, man. Whatever we choose, we don't want it to enter tapped, so we want to choose forest. Get some 3/3s. We can't have it enter tapped because we need to be able to chump the 10/10. Oh, they don't have flying because Steward's gone too. This is going to be a tough way through. They do have Menace, though. Vigilance Menace, right? Yeah. Okay. It doesn't say, though, but I know that's what that means. Oh, there it is. There it is. Vigilance Menace. I was looking, like, why doesn't it say it on the card here, but... Copy of a forest. So, they don't want to board wipe now. Oh! I guess get rid of, yeah, just exile one of the tokens. Oh. Dang, dude. They go for the board wipe, swing for 10. We're down to 1. We have second Rebuild the City, which could hit next turn, but Eternal Wanderer is rough. We're going to be forced to chump, so any amount of spot removal will do it for them. Oh, that would have been so cool. Well, I mean, I guess we never actually... Did we have a wide board state? And the ability to cast the Nissa when we had the wide board state? I'm not sure. Well, we know it's definitely Rebuild the City. And we want to do Forest, so that way it doesn't enter tapped. They go +1, exile token, full swing. We are forced to block both of them. So in other words, 1 piece of spot removal from the opponent's hand. So it looks like mono white. I'm not really sure what the tower and the caves are doing in here, but I'm assuming, well, they're splashing something, aren't they? They're splashing something. I don't know what they're splashing, but they're splashing something, right? Ossification, ossification, yep. So just full swing. Good game, opponent. Ah, man, that Sunfall was brutal. We knew the board wipe was coming. We knew it, but there was a chance that they didn't have the board wipe, and that would have been pretty clean. Like, our lands just completely destroy when they're allowed to. When they're allowed to be on the board. Dude, those lands look crazy. I liked that the Rebuild the City had a good chance of getting us there too. The two of them in a row was awesome, but then they found the second board wipe on the Planeswalker there, so which was a good choice from the opponent. My first thought was just to go plus exile one and then swing anyways, but we had enough here. I like that they went for the board wipe and chose the Loamspeaker since it was tapped out. It was a really good choice that I wouldn't have thought of at all, so. Uh-oh, guys. Okay. Opponent goes first, so we're on the draw. We have 26 land in here. Bushwhack's here, too. I think we risk it. I think we have a great chance of drawing land, so... it's going to be tapped land, though. I think that's fine. We have a turn 2 Bushwhack, grab Forest. And then play another tapped land, of course, which will be Proving Ground this time, I suppose. Well, keep it for cycling? Nah, probably not. We'd rather just have the red and black source on the board here. Okay, no land. So I'm just going to start with the Bushwhack and see if they counter it. Grab a Forest. Like, see? Okay, so no counter for the Bushwhack, so probably a creature. A counter for a creature spell, then, would be my assumption. Or a 3-mana counter spell, too, right? Alright, for now, I'll keep it for the cycling and play the Islet instead. We still have enough mana. We're just a little bit slow right now. It would have been great to try the Wayfinder last turn, but I think it would have eaten a counter. Most likely, yeah, just a counter for a creature spell, since the Bushwhack went through without any issues. Wrenn and Realmbreaker's good. Keeping the mana open isn't worth it. Let's see if Wayfinder gets countered. I like the double Awaken the Woods, because one probably eats a counter, and then the other one might actually get through at some point. Like, I like this. Don't know how I feel about the double Voice of Zhalfir. I really gotta figure out how to pronounce this. Let's see. Now it's gonna be Proving Ground. Make sure we have the untapped Forest. I mean, Wayfinder's on the board. It might just be a Fading Hope then, but Wayfinder isn't like a huge threat to them either. So yeah, some card draw for the turn is pretty good. All right, Jolrael. Okay, Hadijin hits. They have an open island. Poor Wayfinder, man. I really struggle swinging in with Wayfinder. You just go Awaken the Woods for 2. Probably a counterspell, though, right? I mean, anything at this point is probably a counterspell. Then again, you never know. They did get the draw off of Thirst for Discovery. This is pretty good. I'd love a swing here, but I'm positive they block and kill it by playing something here. So I don't think we get the swing. I think we're just going to go X's 2 and see, just get a counter spell out of their hand, I guess. I guess that makes the most sense to me. Because they most likely drew into one that can hit the Awaken. Yeah, there's the negate. Okay. Okay, and so if we would have swung there first, it could have been like another Consider, get this up to 3-4, and then Wayfinder would have died. That would have been particularly bad when there's a chance that they swing in, and now maybe we can get a swing off of Wayfinder. Okay, another Forest is great news, man. Can actually go Voice and try to swing with an island, too. But getting Ramp on Awaken? Let's see. They drew 3. Got rid of a land. They had nothing for Bushwhack. There's a chance that Awaken for 3 lands. If we swing with the land on the Voice, there's a chance that they bounce it back too. So we're actually just gonna go Wayfinder here, see what happens. Because Fading Hope could exist. And then at least that's a Fading Hope that's not hitting our Voice. Okay, let's see. Let's see what's on top. Ooh, another Nissa. Ah, see, that could be good. Could be. But if we can't see the mana for it, then it's probably not good. And then they probably have a lot of counter spells for it. I think I'm going to send it. Hopefully that's an alright choice. Now we're going to go X's 3 and see if they have counterspell number 2 for the second Awaken the Woods. It's going to be an Impulse. They're searching. And 4 cards off the top, I think they have a great chance of seeing what they want to see here. I'm seeing Mono Blue play a lot of Spell Pierce. Like, I think some of them run like 3 to 4 Spell Pierce, which is hilarious. Consider, okay, maybe they're not going to see, maybe Awaken the Woods lands, and once it does, getting those extra lands on the bottom, okay, they send a land, wow, they have to. I mean, how many cards do they see it then total? 6, right? 4 from, wow, Thirst for Discovery. Oh my goodness, they still have 1 island. There's no way Awaken the Woods lands. No way. Whoa, let's go, guys. They just saw a bunch of ways to draw. Okay, all right. Getting those extra forests on the board could be huge for us because, well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could go, yeah, Tolarian Terror is scary though. 7 in the air is probably even more scary. Oh boy. Now whatever we play, we have to prepare for the counter spells, right? Like this was crazy, man. I'm happy Awaken the Woods hits, but wish they didn't have a blocker here. We do 7 and go -7. We only have 2 creatures swinging in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's enough, but I don't think Nissa lands is the problem, and we're going to need a chump blocker for Terror, and probably Haughty Djinn wraps it up next turn anyways. Yeah, I guess we have to risk it, huh? I think Haughty Djinn's going to wrap this up. They have 5 mana, guys. They have 5 open mana. There's no way they don't get this to 10. Yeah, they're going to get 10 in the air. There's no way, man. There's no way. They have 5 cards in hand, 5 open islands. Flow of knowledge. 1 island open. I'm sure Nissa's out of here, man. Negate number 2 or a Spell Pierce. Ah, Spell Pierce. Well, Haughty Djinn's at 9, and it's kind of like I said, we knew that the Haughty Djinn was going to get to 10, so we had to risk it. And what was going to end up happening was we'd have a 10/11 Wayfinder and a 9/9 Dryad, and it still wasn't enough because they had the blocker from the Terror. So yeah, it looks like this was going to be the opponent's regardless, but I wonder if there was just a different order that I could have played those out. I don't know. Mono Blue's been tough. Mono Blue's been a very tough puzzle as it hits everything all the time, right? Like you whenever you play something, you have to immediately anticipate the counterspell and be surprised when something lands. Oh man, very tough, man. All right, how far are we? Almost 30 minutes in. Okay, I believe in us. I believe in us, guys. We're gonna get a crazy land victory. It's just gonna be, it's gonna be 20 lands flying in the air, all powered up by Nissa. But for real though, I think there's power here. I do. I'm sticking to it. I mean, I'm gonna have to put Jank somewhere, like when I put it up on Aether Hub at least, but you never know. Oh, we got bans coming up this week, guys. Oh, I'm so excited to see what gets banned. How about you guys? What do you think's gonna bite the dust? I think a lot of people are expecting, oh, this is a lot of land. I think a lot of people are expecting Fable of the Mirrorbreaker to go bye-bye, which makes sense, I guess. A little sad because it's a red card, but I get it. I get it, man. It's very powerful. I don't think Mono Blue needs the nerf, so I don't think anything gets hit there. Alright, Proving Ground. We're gonna get beat up, dude. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of land. A turn 2 would have been great there to at least block the Recruitment Officer, but... Skystrike Officer, more land. Oh no, guys. I mean, Tatyova can land on the board, but it doesn't survive, man. This is a brutal Cathar board state if I've ever seen one. And Stomper isn't doing too much right now. Stomper can't block, we take even more damage, but at least Cathar has a worse target and it ramps us for Awaken the Woods, which only blocks on the ground, not in the air. Unless we have Tatyova on the board. And then we only have 2 blockers in the air. We're dead either way. I say we go for the ramp. Let's do this. I think getting ramp may give us a better chance. Because at least we can... Okay, no Cathar either, so... Just going wide. Next turn, Harbin's going to send everything into the air anyways. This is 6 in the air, 2 on the ground, down to 5. Is there anything? Oh, another land. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. Well, if we go Tatyova, we can't do Awaken the Woods. So we do Awaken the Woods for 3. Now Stomper can block, but we can't block in the air, and that's game. Stomper has Vigilance. Yeah, good game, opponent. Oh my goodness, guys, we got completely run over. Even if these weren't lands, I mean, what could we have seen that would have been different? I guess just more early blockers on the ground. Maybe would have been enough. Maybe? I don't know. As far as soldiers go, I don't think soldiers gonna get anything that gets banned. I don't think so, at least. Like, soldiers is brutal, but it's not like... I don't think it's like game breaking by any means. You know what I mean? Do you guys know what I mean? Like, Harbin's rough and stuff. Yeah, Skystrike Officer's great, but I don't think any of that deserves a ban by any means. Sheoldred. Sheoldred's one, man. I have no idea. I really don't. You guys will have to let me know in the comments what are the top candidates for getting banned. Come on, guys. We got to do a thing eventually. We go first here. We go first here. Gonna be Spara's headquarters. Right. It's pretty slow. I guess. Oh, Loamspeaker. Yes. Yes. Good draw. Let's go. We have 2 of the Wayfinders and 4 Loamspeakers, so that's 6 total 2 drops. So I guess, you know, not a bad chance of seeing it, honestly. Okay, make disappear is probably likely. The question is, do we want to lose the Nissa or the the Proving Ground, listen to me, or the Tatyova? And I think it's going to be risk the Nissa, play Proving Ground, and then ramp into Bushwhack if we're allowed. Nice. This is great. Grab a forest with the Bushwhack. This is huge, guys. A fairy mastermind. Okay. Okay, go green. Use this while we can. I mean, we could fight the fairy mastermind. Let's read this real quick. Draws their second card each turn. You draw your card. Let's see. Ramp or mastermind? I think ramp. We have a good chance of drawing land, though, don't we? No. It's going to be land. It's going to be land. We have Nissa Resurgent Animist on the board. You have to, like, say the full name because it's Resurgent, and then this is Nissa Ascended Animist, so it can get confusing. Adeline comes down. Okay. Okay, oh boy. I mean, this is definitely the type of deck that the Bushwhack maybe should have hit the Mastermind, but I think grabbing the land is just better overall. Like, completely better. So we go Forest. Grab blue. Do they have any open mana? Generally speaking, you don't want to power up like a Proving Ground because they can have removal for it. So you'd want to make sure that you were powering up like a normal forest or something. Keep some blockers back. We draw off of the Proving Ground. And they draw because of Mastermind. Crap. I mean, that's what I get for going Bushwhack, grab land. But there's a chance that we didn't see land for the rest of the game, and then that would have messed with the plays this turn at least. All right. I mean, if Loamspeaker would have died, I guess Loamspeaker could have still helped us do the exact same thing. It was the same concept as ramping on Nissa. No, we would have had to see the land off the top still, right? So, all right, Nissa block 1/1, take 2. Sheoldred's scary, man. Sheoldred's very, very scary. Another land. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go Forest. 6, 7, right? Nissa. Do we just go for it, or do we like stack? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. It would go +4. Jolrael's not powering up anything this turn, so we go plus. That's an 8/8. F3. Yeah, there's no point in powering it up. It doesn't untap it or anything like that. Okay, they can swing at this Nissa, but I don't know what they want to do. I guess this is like... So the Mastermind's in here for Sheoldred for sure, right? That's the concept there, at least. So they're swinging. We have to be prepared for the land removal that I can't remember the name of right now for some reason. So we're just going to block with the 8/8 instead of the 3/3. This is down to 6, so we don't have the -7, which we weren't planning on using necessarily yet anyways. So going plus there is fine. Wow! Second Nissa could be enough. We just don't know what's open, so it's probably Wandering Emperor, right? Oh, Wandering Emperor, maybe that's one that could get banned. Well, probably not, though. I doubt it. Wandering Emperor's annoying and powerful, but I don't know if it's ban-worthy. Man, I'm really excited to see what they end up announcing. So we're obviously going to +1 there. I apologize for the background sound, guys. That was pretty loud. Hopefully my filters didn't pick up any of that. There's a bowling alley upstairs. You guys know how it goes. All right, Loamspeaker. I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking. Yeah, we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared for the Wandering Emperor. And so when they pick up the land, I guess that's... Yeah, this is fine. And we can probably swing at the 8/8 too. Power up some lands, man. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So eventually we're actually going to be powering up with the Steward too. If they pick up lands with Wandering Emperor over our 8/8, that's not bad. We still have a 7/7 that can block well. I think this is looking great for us, man. Wandering Emperor, take a land. That's what I would do, but it might be the 8/8, and they might just take 5 in the air.
Then guide it like water.
I would take land, maybe even block with the Sheoldred on the ground. Okay, they're back up to 20, down to 15. Draw 2. Oh, we're taking damage from Sheoldred by drawing, though. Oh, man. Yeah, I bet Sheoldred is a card that they really considered banning. Think about the number of games that we've lost to Sheoldred. You know what I mean? Like, a lot. Like, this might be one of them, actually, so... They're back up to 19. Oh, man. So Fairy Mastermind is beautiful with this Shieldred. It's doing wonders for them. We barely did anything. They're going to swing back at the Nissa. And our best bet is Nissa number 2. Oh no, they're swinging at face. Ah, that's not good. Block was 7/7. Our best bet is the Nissa's ability, and they're not swinging at Nissa, so we might die this turn. I'm thinking, okay. I was gonna say they might have ways to have us draw, like pay the 4, each player draws a card. But it was a cycle on the tower, and we're gonna take 2 from the draw here. Yeah, I thought they were gonna have us draw a couple times and Shieldred was gonna wrap this up, so. Skrelv. We have 2 mana open, we're down to 3. Forest, right? Power up Forest, yep. So some spot removal in hand, I suppose, is probably what this is going to end up being. I guess we go -7 and then play the second Nissa and just do it again, right? Select the cost. Yeah, we want green. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. That's a weird way to set it up. Hey, GG opponent, we finally got there, guys. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, man. I mean, Nissa's -7 is just such a beautiful way to end the game anyways. If you're actually allowed keeping creatures on the board for a couple turns, Voice of Zhalfir is terrific, and it'll be better after the Shieldred ban, huh? No, we don't know what's getting banned, but yeah, no, seriously, like, just like cards draw in general, I guess, you know, not getting punished for it. Tatyova was awesome, dude. Let's go talk about this deck, huh? Let's go talk about this one. That was pretty sick overall. The opponent didn't have too much removal there. The second Nissa was in hand because I thought for sure they were going to go Fairy Mastermind into the Nissa. And when they went face, I thought we were just dead. I thought they were going to activate the Mastermind's ability, have us take more damage from Shieldred, and then wrap it up the last couple points up somehow. But here's the deck list again, guys. Nissa's pretty good. Resurgent Animist. I like this one. It's not bad. It doesn't get picked up by Cutdown, so... Ooh, Cutdown. Could that one be on the chopping block? Eh, probably not. Well, maybe. I don't know. Cutdown ruins a lot of cool creatures, man. A lot of cool 4-drops and stuff, so... maybe. Anyways, what else is cool here? Everything. The deck is really cool, but it's struggling right now. I guess it's the meta. I guess, right? But... I don't know. There's probably some room for improvement too. I do like the Bushwhack. I like the couple Wayfinder, but it's so hard to get this through, man. I don't know. Maybe we just drop Wayfinder and go up some more reliable ramp. A couple more 2-drop creatures could be good, I guess. And maybe, what is the taxidermist, right? Taxidermist could be a cool one because you're sending stuff to the grave anyways with Wrenn and Realmbreaker potentially on the -2, right? So Taxidermist gets +3, +2 as long as there are 4 or more creature cards in your graveyard. And we have enough creatures in here, I would say. Well, maybe not, actually. Yeah, maybe not. It's funny because, like, you think there's a lot of creatures, but realistically, we're just powering up a lot of lands. What are the... Yeah, only 16 creatures. Dropping 2 Wayfinders for a couple Taxidermists. I mean, both of them get picked up by Cutdown anyways. Adding 1 mana of any color is really good, though, so I could see the Taxidermist over the Wayfinder. It's really difficult to get Wayfinder through, but I do like how that pairs with the Wrenn and Realmbreaker as well. Voice of Zhalfir was excellent. I love it. I kind of just want to play more matches, honestly. I really do. I bet going up a second Titan of Industry could go a long way. Titan of Industry is terrific on so many levels and works against almost everything, and we're seeing a lot of mid-range anyways, and you're dropping a Titan of Industry a couple turns early in a deck like this. if you are up against those mid-range builds, that could be brutal for them. Just hitting an artifact like their Bank Buster and gaining 5 life so that way you don't die to Shieldred in the next couple turns. That sounds good enough, right? Or maybe you're already winning and you can push it over the edge by creating another Rhino Warrior and then maybe buffing them all up with that -7 on Nissa next turn. The tapped lands were pretty brutal. I could totally see, and this might be way too greedy, I could see dropping all the Proving Grounds and hoping that you just have a way, maybe like down to 2 or 1 Proving Grounds going up forests, and then hoping you have like Wrenn and Realmbreaker to cast the Rebuild the City or Nissa or Loamspeaker, and if you trade out the Wayfinders for the Taxidermist, then those as well. Tapping for 1 of any mana on Awaken Skyclave works too. I guess Rebuild the City isn't necessarily too important in here too. So just like dropping it all together and just sticking to a 2-color deck instead of a 4 would be fine as well. But realistically, it's just a green deck and we're like really loosely splashing the other colors. And so all these slow mana that we're splashing for happens to be detrimental overall, I would say. So the slow mana is pretty bad too. And of course, speaking of slow mana, Tangled Islet is also pretty slow, but I wanted to make sure we had the blue sources for the Steward and everything. Overall, I think it was fine. I'm definitely going to have to label it jank because we got completely run over, but this is going to be one after the bans and everything that maybe I'll have to return to and just like return to ramp in some form in general. Of course, Rebuild the City is the main reason I was allowed to play the deck because it has red in it, right? But if you guys are ever just interested in seeing any build from me, you guys can just drop it in the comments and I'll let everybody know, hey, this was a suggestion, so we're allowed playing it, right? And break out of the niche a little bit every now and then, but yeah, very cool one, guys. Very cool cards in general. I like the idea of just like slamming through with land. It's just a really neat concept, so I had fun. If you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.